Welcome back to our new Anno 1800 series. We're playing with crazy mods and a custom map. All of the AIs are a lot stronger, we have a lot of new ships like submarines or aircraft carriers, and we also have new tiers of population. And finally I created myself a custom map to make sure that we have a unique experience. I've pinned the list of all of the mods in the Anno 1800 channel of my Discord. Don't hesitate to check in the video description below if you want to see the link to join the community. And of course in the video description below you can also find the link to the playlist with all of the episodes for this series if you want to make sure that you start from scratch. Let's go back to our empire. Welcome to episode 26, our first episode that I'm recording after update 17. So we now have access to the stamps and many other things. If you want to hear more about update 17, don't hesitate to check in the video description below. I have made a video recapping everything you can expect in this update. This is a free update, so you should definitely get it. But yes, let's dive into this new episode because we have a lot to talk about. Remember, in the last episode, we finally killed Lady Margaret. So out of the 3 AIs, there's only 2 left. And remember, we're playing with mods, in particular the combat overhaul mod, which means that those AIs were a lot stronger. So it wasn't that easy. And we still have 2 others, right? And in particular, Bente, look at this, she has more than 2000 of military power. We're definitely increasing. Very recently, we were only at 200 or something, now we're already at 600. But still, she is way further than us. And we only have a reputation of 12 with her, right? So she's probably very close to declaring war on us. The good thing is that Princess Queen still has trade right with us, 60, and she's also not growing that quickly, right? We're catching up to her. In the previous episode, we also finished the dam, so we now have electricity across the whole Manor Island, and we finished a grand stadium. I'm doing it from time to time because remember, it will give you some influence forever. This is not the type of influence that you can lose. This one, you cannot lose it. So it's a no regret move, to do it. Of course, there is sometimes 40 minutes between each, competition, each World Cup that you can do, but still very good. If I look over here, so far I've gotten 360 from those football championships. That's pretty good. The first thing I wanted to cover in this episode is because of this dam, right? We're getting electricity everywhere, and therefore many of my productions were completely out of work. Some of them still are, but I've also started to clean a few. For example, the mezcal production, mezcal bar, you may remember that we had 3 before. Now we only have 2 because 3 was way too much with the electricity. We are full, right? Similarly, the sugar next to it because this was needed for the mezcal. On the other side of my island over here, we had the soccer balls, the ball manufactory. Similarly, we had 3, now we only have 2. Same for the rum production, we had way too much, so I deleted many that were over here. But now a big one I wanted to talk about was the wool production. You may remember that we had the wool production on our secondary island with this trade union over here and all of this. This was a great production. So why do I want to move it? Well, because now with the electricity, the alpaca farms will produce salpet for free. And remember, salpet is not that easy, right? We're using a lot of salpet in the old world for advanced weapons, but we also needed salpet in the new world for our lubricants. So now with that, we'll get salpet directly in the new world. We won't need to import it. So that was a pretty good one. So basically that's why you can see all of this is paused. And now, we can actually even delete it, make some space on this island. And of course, I didn't just recreate this thing manually. What I did was to create a stamp. Right over here, I created the alpaca farm stamp. This is exactly the same. At the time I'm recording this video, I'm actually preparing some new videos on stamps. So don't hesitate to check on the channel. It's probably already live by the time you see this video on, how to actually create stamps, how to organize them, all those type of things. So then I just went to my capital, and I posted the stamp basically over here. Then I also put those 2 items into my item transfer depot, the livestock farmer and the herdsman to reduce the animal farm workforce. And so we can just pick it up over here if I can find, wait, where is it? Over here. Here is it. Which one is it? This one. So you can just right click on it and now they are on this island. Perfect. So we can just put them into the trade union. Here is one and the herdsman. Perfect. So now all of these have 0 workforce, perfect. I have also put the silo, right? This is a good one. And by the way, this is also something that came with update 17. Now when you build, a blueprint for a farm. In the past, you could put all of the fields, but you couldn't put the silos or tractor. Now you can. If I click over here, I can see, the pastures, and I can see also the silo, so we can build it. And that's really great, especially in combination with the stamps, because now we have a stamp, that is fully done, nothing else needed. Oh, maybe let's build this fire station over here. So anyway, with that, we are producing all of the alpaca wool that we need. We're also getting salpet for free. And then I just need, to transport this wool back into this island over there. Because remember, this is where we're using it, right? We're using it for our bombing. We're using it for our poncho darners and maybe somewhere else, I don't remember. And as I said, because of that, we don't really need to bring the salpet from the old world to the new world, right? But at the same time, because of all of the new islands we conquered from Lady Margaret in the last episode, we have now reached the world leader in terms of expansion. Here we're using basically a lot of influence, and therefore we've reached this bonus that gives us 200 workforce for free per island. So 200, that was perfect. That enabled me to create even more of those salpet works over here. Right, they're all boosted, remember, with that. So with this island now, we are producing 12 salpet, and we don't need to use it in the new world anymore. So we're gonna use it for the old world, meaning I want to completely stop now, making over here. I used to have the salpet there, I've paused them, let's delete them now. We used to make our bomb, our dynamite, our bombs, and our heavy weapons. I'm stopping all of this. The key reason I wanted to do that is because, remember, this island it's very far from my two main islands, right, that are over here. So it will be a lot smarter to put this production safely over here where I can protect it. I've decided to put on the workers. Why? Because remember, we're making a lot of tallow for free from our fisheries, right? So this tallow will be used with the salpet to make the dynamite, and that's easy to just put it on the same island. I have actually slightly changed my fish production because in the past you may have remembered that it was at minus 50% just to give us a bit of better happiness. Now I've put it at plus 50%. Why? Because this way we're producing more tallow basically. The only thing is that with that we're producing way more fish than what I need, and therefore now I have a boat, I don't know which one of those boats over here, that's basically picking up the fish and then dropping it in the sea over there. That way it's never full. So it is, we have moved the production on this worker island, and we've also increased the production. Instead of one bomb factory, we now have 3. Instead of one dynamite factory, I've built 6 but only activated 4. And similarly for the advanced weapons, we have, 4 active, 4 inactive. And so with that, we're making 4 advanced weapons and 4 bombs per minute. This is a lot more, and this will be useful for the future for sure, going back to war. Now, you may be wondering why some of them are paused, etc. This is requiring 8, we're making 12 right now, so we could make a bit more, but not that much more. The other reason is just the cost of those things. Look at this, this is 900 of maintenance. Even with this maintenance cost minus 10%, these ones are even worse. This is almost 2000 of upkeep just for one building, and this one 500 something, right? So all of this does cost quite a bit, and I didn't feel we needed that much more, at least right now. So yes, we have a transport ship bringing the salpet over here. We also have a ship coming from there to take steel. The steel is dropped over here, and then with that we're able to do all of these, right? We're able to do over here all of the dynamite, we're able to do all of the bombs over here, right? And on top of that we're able to do the advanced weapons. And then I'm sending the advanced weapons and the bomb back to my capital, because this is where we're making all of the ships, etc. So 600 advanced weapons, 200 bombs. Slowly but surely this is growing very quickly. And while we're here, you may have realized, there's also a new block over there. Why a new block? Well, if you look at my advanced shipyards over here, for most of the ships, we do need a lot of advanced weapons, but we also do need a lot of steam motors. I feel like I wasn't making enough, so that's why we have over here this one. On top of this, these motor assembly line, they also do cost quite a lot of maintenance, right? Almost 2000. So that's why I've put over here a trade union, because yes, most of the time what you're trying to do with the trade union, with your items, is things like extra goods or maybe reduce the workforce, but you can also do the maintenance. Over here, for example, I have the Von Malkin labor law proposal, maintenance cost minus 50%, or even just the extremely loud bell, Many people use it for the workforce needed minus 50%, but it also has the maintenance cost minus 25%. So that's pretty good with this. You know, we move from almost 2000 to only around 300 of upkeep. I think we're gonna put those similar items over here, you know, to try to reduce this by a lot, which should help to keep, you know, our income very high. So yes, with that, I think in the future we're gonna start making a lot more steam motors, a lot more advanced weapons and bombs to be ready for war. And to be ready for war, we should also obviously make the last ship that we haven't made so far, the aircraft carrier. Let's build the first one. Now, should we stop there? I mean, yes, my birth country of France only has one, but the US has like 11 aircraft carrier, if I'm not mistaken. So I guess we should target 12, right? Talking about the fleet, let's take a quick look at it. Oh, here it is. All right, getting bigger and bigger. We have now 2 of those Yamato class. We have, I don't know how many of those dreadnoughts and battleships. There's definitely quite a few, as you can see, and a few other things. From time to time, I'm also checking at Anno, you know, she sells some cool ships. For example, look at this ship over here. I am not really sure she actually sells it, but it is beautiful. I would love to have it. Now, before we talk about what to do next, I'd love to take a quick look at our enemies. Let's look at their islands. So this is the first island of Princess Queen. She definitely has now a lot of engineers. And is that an investor? No, I don't see any investors, right? I think this is only engineers, but there's the bank, right? And a lot of defenses, as you can see, including some flak emplacement, so anti-air. She has anti-air now, so we'll need to be careful. And look over here, a lot of ships, some of those monitors. I don't see yet any, you know, Yamato class or anything like this, but who knows, maybe she's hiding them somewhere. Then she has a couple of small islands. I mean, they are definitely small, but they're also quite defended, as you can see. Look at this amount of defense, including 2 big Betty on this side and 1 on this side for such a small island. Same over here, you know, this island is so small, but it has more cannons than inhabitants, I think. And then the last in the old world is this one. She has some airships too. We can see a few more engineers. Interesting. Obviously, if you don't know, you know, the AIs are completely cheating. They don't have to follow the same rules in terms of, you know, production, etc. So that's also why you can see them doing some crazy things like having 3 engineer house on a small island like this. Then in the new world, she has a couple of islands, which funnily enough, because they're way bigger, seems less defended. Not too advanced either. There are some Artista over here right now. Oh, that's an Obrera? That's strange. It looked like an Artista to me, but okay. But she definitely has a few over here. Right, all, as I said, pretty small in terms of development. Some defenses, but not crazy. But probably providing quite a... Oh, here definitely that is Artista. Okay, so she's developed quite a bit over here. And then on top of that, remember that both of them are also in the Cape, including this gigantic island over here, where again, I don't see any investors yet, which probably is why she doesn't have, you know, the advanced ships yet, like the submarine, but she's probably pretty close. So we'll have to be careful about this. Now let's look at Bente. Remember, Bente has more than 2000 of power, so I'm pretty scared. Okay, this island there, a lot of defenses everywhere. Some small islands here and there. She has actually quite a lot of islands, as you can see. She's basically taken over the regions. Then in the new world, she actually has a bit of a smaller presence, but still quite some big... Oh, I like what she's done over here. This is looking pretty cool. Love it, actually. That is a cool stamp, potentially. Where she has, you know, developed... Don't see Artista over here, but definitely quite a bit of population, quite a bit of defense. How many cannons over here? This is crazy. And this is not even our biggest island, I think. Oh, look at this. It's rows of cannons everywhere. Oh, she also has some oil over here. It is a pretty good looking island, I have to admit that. You know, she's doing a good job. in making them look natural. And then in the old world, I'm pretty sure she has some crazy things. This was her starting island, and look at this. This is only investors. Okay, she even has a zoo over here. 2 of these shipyards. Oh, what's strange that our advanced shipyard doesn't look like an advanced shipyard. What is that? Ironclad. Look at this fleet. Over here we have a battle cruiser. A lot of defenses. 4 big beatties. Oh my god. This is gonna be huge to take on. Some oil over here. And remember, this is not even a big island, right? This is a medium island. She has another medium island over here, which is more for workers and a bit of artisan. Still tons of defenses. She's making cab assembly line over here. Okay, interesting. And then a big island. Oh, this is a military island for sure. All right, we have the steam motors, the advanced weapons. Is she making bombs too somewhere? I don't think I'm seeing the bomb factory. If you do see it, don't hesitate to put it in the comments below. But definitely a lot of the advanced productions there. Not a lot of a lot of population. And this is once again, I think, an island that's looking really organic, really cool. She's using a lot more trees than me, of course. Yeah, love it, love it. And of course, while I'm talking about them, they could keep developing, so I'm making my situation even worse. But you know, I like to live on the edge. So talking about living on the edge, I think we need to go on the offensive, right? We will need to attack. Now the question is, which of those 2 will we attack? Do we attack directly her, that has a lot more power than us? Or do we attack Princess Queen, which is actually our ally right now, right? We're not in an island, but almost there. I don't know, tell me in the comments below. We're not gonna do it in this episode. In this episode, what I want to do now is focus on preparing for this war. To prepare for this war, obviously, we need a bigger fleet, right? So we're gonna continue to create. I mean, right now we have 1 aircraft. I want a 2nd right away. Then we're gonna start making more of these, including more utility ships. I think they're very important, right? But that's not enough, in particular because we have multiple regions. Should I just divide my fleet? I don't think that's a good idea. I think our fleet should stay, you know, everything at once. We have 1 huge big fleet, but that means it's only in 1 region and the other regions are not defended. The reality is, I think for now, let's just completely forget about the Cape, right? We have no city, we haven't built anything. Sure, it will, you know, it's great islands, etc. But it also defeats a bit the purpose of the custom map that I had created in the old world, where I wanted to make sure, you know, there wasn't too many big islands, because then I think the game becomes a bit too easy. So anyway, as I said, let's forget about the Cape. So we need to decide, should we defend with our fleet the old world or the new world? Well, you know, if I lose the old world, right, let's say I lose this island over here, I'm done, right? Like, we lose all of our investors, we lose all of our money, we lose our advanced shipyards. So I think, you know, we don't really have a choice. We have to keep the fleet to defend the old world, and in particular defend those 2 big islands, which means the new world won't have a fleet. So how do we defend the new world? Well, basically, we need to have a lot of defenses, right? The good thing is, I don't think we need to defend all of the islands. I basically need to defend for sure this main island over here. We should probably also try to defend this one, because it has a lot of our population, right? If we lose all of this, then we are bad in terms of population for workforce, for the production. And lastly, we probably also should defend this one. Oh, by the way, there is a COVID epidemic over here, it seems. But yeah, we should also probably defend this one, because this is the island, remember, that's giving me a lot of my influence. It is actually, it seems, giving me 795 at this moment, which means that without it, I'll be in negative influence and I wouldn't be able to have the fleet that I have. So I think we need basically to defend those 3 islands, which, good thing, are pretty close to each other, right? With a lot of defenses. We have access to quite a few, right? Over here, we have access to the mountain guns and the flag emplacement. I think that's going to be quite important, making sure we protect a bit against the airships and their bombs in particular. Then we also have over here the cannon, the flamethrower, and the anti-armor gun. Once again, I think that's going to be quite an important one, given the fact that, you know, they're starting to have quite a bit of advanced ships like those advanced battle cruisers. I'm a bit scared about those advanced battle cruisers. They have a star on them, you know, it's never good. And then the last thing we can do is make sure that we have also some mines potentially protecting the islands, right? So let's do all of this. Of course, to do all of that, we're gonna need quite a bit of resources, which is why I've started to send, you know, some advanced weapons and other resources. And of course, we can leave a few ships, in particular also maybe to protect some of my transport, right? But I think that's definitely not the priority. The priority is to defend the city. Now, the problem with creating so many defenses, all of those defense placement, they cost influence, but there's another problem, is they also cost quite a bit of money. If you look, for example, over here at those new anti-armor guns, each of them is 200 of maintenance, right? You have 10, that's 2000. So we are now basically negative. But don't fret, I have a solution, because first of all, we weren't finished with the investors, right? We're giving them everything in terms of the basic goods, but happiness, we are not giving them the jewelry yet. We're talking 156 coins per house, so I'm hoping that's really going to help. And on top of this, this is also a lifestyle need for my artista. In the new world, it's only 22 coins, but that's still pretty good. So we're gonna make jewelry. To make jewelry, you basically need gold and you need pearls. To make gold, you need gold ore and coal. And gold ore, you know, there's a couple of ways to get it. The basic way is in the Arctic or in the New World, but actually you may remember that we've put some items, like for example, Georg von Malkin, where we're creating gold out of thin air from all of our mines over here. So we have a lot of gold over here. I sent a ship that's going to do this route over here. So bring the gold over there, and that way we're gonna start making gold bars. So then the only thing we're missing is pearls. Right, pearls are coming from the New World. There's of course also a couple of items to get pearls. So I went to the New World and I look at my island. So Manor Lords doesn't have the pearl fertility. Production Island doesn't have it either. The Influence Island doesn't have it either. So that's not so great. I do have one island over here that has it, but we haven't built a single thing on this island, so you know, it was annoying. So then I went back to the items, because there are indeed a lot of items that can help, and I spent a lot of money. As you can see, we're now down to only 5 million, because I bought a couple of new items, in particular Francois, the amazing one, where it's going to affect those jewelers. It's going to increase their productivity, it's going to create some pocket watches for free, and it's going to produce the good without pearls, which was exactly what I wanted basically. So let's deliver this and see if we can get back into positive income. In the meantime, I'm sending more resources to the New World to build all of those weapons. By the way, you can also buy advanced weapons and normal weapons at Anno if you have trade right with her. So in particular, I've stopped making those basic weapons, so it can be a good way to buy there. You can also buy gold, by the way, if you want for the jewelry. So I've put Francois into this trade union, and now even if I have 0 pearl and I'm not producing any, I'm not lying, you know, this has started to work, starting to make some jewelry. As you can see, we're making way too much for this island, and even if I had the New World, we're still making way too much, so that's great. It does mean we should make a new route to send that to the New World. So this will be for my artista only. So like this. I probably don't need to send, you know, too many. Let's send 200. But yeah, I haven't even started to send it to the New World. We're just giving it right now to our investors. As you can see, we're already back into positive. So that's perfect. And it doesn't mean we're finished with the investors. We still need a couple of goods in their lifestyle need, which would also give us more money. So I love it. Let's continue like this. Okay, so we built the defense on this island, but that's not all. I also sent a couple of my destroyers, which remember they have mines, right? So with that, we've planted a lot of mines in this entrance. If anybody wants to go through there, they're gonna have a lot of damage. Similarly for my second island, you know, 2 of these with 2 cranes, a lot of different defenses. As you can see, you know, there's flamethrowers, there's anti-armor guns, there is also cannon towers, mounted guns, a bit of everything. And similarly, mines all around, you know, the harbor. And last but not least, my influence island, which by the way, I expanded slightly. You know, we've added a couple more houses over here, over there, over here, and over there to increase my influence because we were quite low with all of these weapons. I mean, remember, this is all of them, they take influence. But yes, once more, we have 2 cranes, you know, and all types of weapons, including anti-air. You may be wondering why I actually moved and now I have on each island 2 of these. Is because actually of this anti-air or this air, let's say, airships. If they drop some bombs, you know, if I had one big one, then a bomb would touch all of them. Now having 2, obviously they need at least 2 drops of bomb to do a lot of damages. Oh, and of course, I also put mines all around over here. And despite all of these, we're still in positive in terms of money because I continue to give a few more to the artista. We started by giving them the jewelry, right? And now I added also the light bulbs and the champagne. We were already making that in the old world. So it was just a question of, you know, sending more to the new world. In particular, the champagne, you know, I want to highlight that I'm making it completely for free thanks to this island over here. We have, you know, the medal winning producer in both of these, and with that we're making enough champagne. Let's double check actually. I think it's just enough. Here it is. As you can see, we're making enough when I selected all of my islands. I've also continued to expand, you know, my air fleet. As you can see, we have more and more airships. They're all of them, they are armed. So now what we can do is start giving them the bombs. Last but not least, we finally have our first aircraft carrier. Here it is. As you can see, an amazing models. You know, this is basically the size of the island. I love the details. You know, we have a lot of ships. Obviously, we're not talking about an aircraft carrier similar to the one we have today. They're a bit more ancient, but still, they look super cool. You can indeed use the planes. They are kamikaze, it seems. We're gonna have to see how they work. But yeah, they are actually working. We have, of course, quite a lot of health. Also tons of maintenance, by the way, right? I have no idea how I'm still in positive. If you look at my warship, more than 100,000 in terms of maintenance of the warship. It's actually more money than the maintenance of all of my productions across the whole world. This is crazy. But yeah, what do you think about this aircraft carrier? And more importantly, who should we attack? Now that we've protected our New World island, should we attack Bente, who's down to 7 of reputation, by the way? Clearly she's not liking us. By the way, we've also jumped from 600 to 900 in this episode, building more and more destroyers, etc. Or should we attack Princess Queen, which is a lot closer to us in terms of power? And in particular, I think our fleet is definitely bigger, it's just that she has tons of defenses everywhere. But we're sort of friends with her, so which one should we do? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.